Live from KOAM, this is KOAM Morning News, the 4 states' most watched news.
Well, in the new year, one of the top resolutions is to get out of debt. Jonathan Scales is a human resources consultant with Adviant to offer us some advice. And in 2011, we've noticed that there's a little more in our paycheck this year.
That's right. There will be a little bit more. In 2010, President Obama signed into place a tax reform that took our Social Security tax from 6.2% down to 4.2%.
Okay, so what do you do with that 2%?
A little bit of savings. Well, you know what? It's not a ton, and we're used to paying the 6.2% already. So I'd say maybe consider thinking about debt. And many people have debt out there, and they're trying to reduce debt. They can push that money toward maybe an extra mortgage payment, maybe reducing debt, maybe even to a 529 plan to save for children's education.
Okay, let's talk about knowing your company's benefits.
All right. Well, one thing that you can do to get the most out of your paycheck and the most from your employer is to make sure you know what benefits are offered by your employer and how to use them, and make sure you use them to the fullest extent. If you don't know what you have, you don't know what there is to be able to use.
We have a category here, freebies and discounts, health care reform, many new free benefits. I think I'd be surprised to know that there are going to be anything free, period.
Yeah, there are a couple of nice things in the health care reform bill. One is preventive services. So if I go in and get a pap smear, or well, not me, but if I go in and get an adult physical, or I have a well child visit, or a pap smear or a mammogram, those now are considered preventive care, and so therefore no copay applies, no deductible, it's a free visit.
Okay, save your pay raises is another. What's that?
Well, studies show, and some of the surveys out show, that employers are now going to have pay raises come in this year, and they'll be a little bit higher than last year. Not a ton, but maybe consider, rather than taking all that money in your pocket right now, put it toward maybe an education fund, put it toward expenses, debt, something like that.
This next one sort of gets back to knowing your company's benefits, the 401k. How can you get more out of that?
Well, many employers offer a 401k plan, which is a retirement plan. The employee puts money in the plan, and many times the employer will match the money the employee puts in the plan. So if you have a 401k plan and you're not matching, or you're not putting money in, the employer won't match, so therefore you're just leaving money on the table.
Right.
You're missing free money.
That's pretty much like free money.
Yeah, it is free money.
All right, Jonathan, thanks for that advice. We're going to have you back here in our next segment to help us out some more. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Jonathan Scales here again to help us get out of debt. And before the break, we talked about getting the most out of your paycheck. Now we're going to focus on tax planning and budgeting. And what more advice do you have for us?
Well, we've got tax time now come up in April. We've got to file our taxes, and many people will get a refund, but actually that's not a good thing. What I would encourage folks to do is, if they expect to get a refund, or if they do get a refund, maybe go to their employer and fill out a new W-4. A W-4 form is the one that you fill out to say how much tax to withhold. If you get a refund, that means the IRS has your money all year rather than you having your money.
And they're making money off of that instead of you.
That's right. Or you could use that money to pay down debt.
So how do you go about making those changes?
Go to your employer, or you can go to IRS website, irs.gov, and print out a W-4, fill out the W-4 with the new exemptions and your new withholding amounts, and turn that into your employer.
Okay. What other tips do you have for us?
Well, let's see here.
Social Security tax being reduced, what's that all about?
The Social Security tax being reduced, it's going from 6.2% down to 4.2%. It's just a nice little bit of extra money to put in your pocket to help pay down loans and stuff like that. Yeah. Other things you might want to consider is using direct deposit wisely. Many employers offer direct deposit, meaning that you don't get a paper paycheck, your money goes directly into your bank account. You could maybe consider setting up a mechanism where your direct deposit goes partly into your checking account and partly into your savings account, and then you can use the piece in your automatic savings account to pay down debt, to fund 529 plans for college education, to fund an IRA, things like that.
And another good tax-free way to save money is using a flexible spending account.
That's right. That's right. Many of us have healthcare expenses. Many of us have daycare expenses for our children. If you use a flexible spending account through your employer, you can pay for those expenses with tax-free money.
Okay. And do all flexible spending accounts now? I know we have one here where we work where you have to actually pay for the stuff in advance, but is that always the case?
It is. For a flexible spending account, it's a reimbursement account, so you pay for your daycare expense, you pay for your medical expense, and then you submit for reimbursement.
Okay, that sounds good. What else? Direct deposit?
Direct deposit, again, a really great mechanism for automatic savings. You can even set it up so it'll automatically have some auto deductions that'll take your mortgage out of your paycheck, so therefore you don't get behind on your mortgage. And if you actually pay an extra mortgage payment or two, that can reduce the time you actually have on your mortgage and reduce the interest you pay over time.
Okay, and real quickly, for those that are expecting a big refund check, if they haven't made those changes yet, what's something that they should be doing with that refund money?
It's always fun to kind of have a little party, but when you get that refund, maybe consider using it for paying down debt, or maybe for funding an expense in the future that you have planned.
Or just save it.
Or save it, yeah.
All right, Jonathan Scales, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And you guys have a website you can go to for more information?
Yep, Adviant.com. It's Adviant.com.
All right, thanks for coming in, and drive safely home.
I will, thanks.
We'll be right back.